don't have a pick in the first round.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, I was going to ask you that. What are the chances that you might?
Well, I think we've got talented players, so if we really wanted to get one, we could probably make it happen. But I don't even know how likely it is, and I think we're focused right now on going into the draft with just the 53rd pick and rolling from there.
So how useful is this when so many of these players will be gone by the time you?
Yeah, I think they've expanded now. There's 100 and some players here now. So I think for us, especially, it's really useful because we're spending more of our own private time with some of the higher end guys just to do our due diligence, and we're using this to try to drill down deeper on some of the players that we think could be there when we pick. It's a wide expanse of players at that stage, but it's been good. So it's been fun, and we say to our scouts all the time, I think when you're picking 1 or 4, or I wasn't here when we picked 8, but even last year, making those picks count at that stage are going to be pivotal to continuing our run here of when we finally can push it through and get to where we want to be. It's finding another player like Rasmus Sandin late and later, and our scouting staff is going to become even more important, and then our development staff. So these are all important drafts for us for a long time.
Roughly how many people do you expect to interview while you're here, and do you even go talk to Hughes as well?
I know Jack just from him being around Toronto and obviously his father Jim, but so I've talked to him a few times, but I think there's not a huge probability that we'll land him, but you never know what could happen. So
in the meetings, has it in your experience, has it ever clinched one way or the other? Like, how much does the verbal meeting mean?
I think we try not to put so much stock into it. We look at it as a chance to get to know the player and how they think. So these players come from such a wide array of backgrounds. Some of them don't speak English. Some of them have been playing in the U.S. development program where, they're inundated with very NHL style ways of operation. Same with a lot of major junior programs. Some are from college, and then others are playing prep school where they don't really do video or anything like that. So you try not to overstate too much what these players maybe what you're finding out about the players in terms of your interaction, and trying to take into account where they're coming from. But it's just great to get to know the players and put faces to names and begin a relationship in case we draft them next month.
Where are you currently at in the process of trying to get a new deal done with Mitch Marner?
I think with all of the RFAs, we're having healthy discussion with Mitch's people, with Kasperi's people, and with Andreas Janssen's people. So we're continuing to work towards it. I'm probably not going to give anybody as much as they like. The Dreger Cafe got it kicked back up when it landed back in North America, which is fine. But there won't be anything coming from us. I regret to inform everyone.
Does July 1st add pressure for you?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the system is what it is. It outlines everything as it can be, and we, as I stated at the end of the season, of course, we would like to have all these done as soon as possible to have a real good view of where we're at. But and we're working towards that. That's our goal. We want all these guys to play here for a long time, but there's a system in place, and they're all restricted free agents, and the market has kind of bared out where everyone fits in, and it's just trying to work around the edges of that to come to conclusions.
Can you get the other stuff done?
Which other? Oh, the other two. Yeah, I think we can't hold up our the whole operation of our team either, right? And I think we can't stop trying to improve our team because one of the 3 free agent situations is slow. I mean, Janssen has there's a resolution mechanism there with arbitration, so that one way or another will come to a close. In late July, we hope. I think Jarrett Bouquet has been very good to deal with here on it, so we'll continue working towards that. But we'd like to get them all done. At the same time, I don't think it's fair to the remainder of the players on the team for us to put everything on hold and when we can be trying to improve the club. So.
A related question, there's a report today that you and Zaitsev's agent are working on an exit strategy. Came from Elliot Friedman. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I've been meeting with Dan. I met with Dan here, and I don't want to get too much into the details. That's up to Dan and Nikita on their end, but that will be our goal to to try to find a fresh start for him if for his own personal and private reasons, and I'll leave that to Dan and Nikita to talk about. I mean, in the case of what it means for our team, it's not any definitive type of, he's definitely not going to be back, because I think especially as the year went on, especially as he was paired with Muzzin, I think his value began to shine through a little bit more, and his penalty killing, his right shot, plays in our top four, and is signed reasonably for a long time. So that's where that's at.
He seemed really happy a couple of years ago to get here, dedicated to be a Leaf and all that. To say,
Well, and then he signed. Yeah, he signed for 7 years after. Again, I don't want to speculate on their behalf, Lance. I think that's for Dan and Nikita to address if they want to.
It seems like a significant number of the fan base is vocal when they perceive a player getting really greedy in their mind. Whatever that is. William Nylander has gone through it. Are you worried that Mitch might go through something like that?
Oh, I hope not. I think Mitch is. I don't really know. I don't sense that Kevin. I don't know what the fans are really saying about it, and I think Mitch is a wonderful. I think everything about him, a wonderful person and a player, great energy and enthusiasm, and I've told him and I've told Darren, he's the type of player that we should play. I mean, him, Austin, Morgan, they're the types of guys that should play their whole career here and roll on. William would be in that same bucket, right? And I think that's what the dream is when you're with a franchise. You want the players to play their whole careers, especially when they're core parts of it, and then the rest is history. And I think the great thing about Toronto, on that note, with the fans, is you see the way that the players who maybe they didn't even necessarily play their full career in Toronto, but like Wendell Clark and Darcy Tucker and obviously Daryl Sittler, Dave Keon, those types of guys, how revered they are and the place they still hold in the city. And I think that's what makes Toronto such a special place. And you're seeing it kind of come to light now again with the Raptors and how amazing the city has been and how great of a place it is to play in any sport, whether it's for us with the Leafs or the Raptors or the Jays, TFC. But it's awesome.
You were a bit critical of yourself in terms of the Nylander negotiations. When you think about where you were at this time last year, maybe with William and where you're at with Mitch, how you handled it differently? Just in terms of your own
Kristen, we've had a lot more discussion with Darren already than we had with Louis Gross by this time last year. Louis and I had discussions, but we didn't actually sit down until the draft in Dallas. So that was a month from now. So we're way further ahead on that. And the discussion with Mitch and Darren has been going back to actually Darren and I met last year at the Combine on Mitch's contract. So that they're totally different situations. But with that in mind and learning from that, it's been continuing to stay on it, not let it slip, and not let anyone ever think that we're not wanting to try to get an agreement done.
Are you still confident you can get one done before July 1st?
I'm very hopeful. I'm a very optimistic person, so I'm hopeful that we are, and we'll keep working towards that. And I think that's what's been expressed on everybody's end. So I think if everyone is in it on that way, we should be able to get there.
Do you feel better, different, worse about the Leafs season, given Boston's success and you took them to 7 and no one else has? It's a double-edged sword there, isn't it?
I think a lot of people say that. A lot of fans say that, especially. This could have been our year. Look where they are now. We had them down 3-2, but I think it takes some real manipulation of the space-time continuum to forecast that. They matched up way against Columbus. Who knows how we would have matched up? I think our whole goal is we're trying to get to the spot where they're at. We'd love to be playing right now. We'd love for the people to be lined up outside the arena 2 days in advance to watch the game outside. And you see the Raptors and what's happening around them and how amazing the city is. I can't imagine what it would be like if we were. Well, I do imagine what it would be like at this point. I think that's part of being in sports, is you dream about that stuff all the time, and you're trying to make it happen for the fan base in the city and for everybody. And so. I think all of that just makes you diligent and continue to work towards where we have to go in the future.
Is there anything that you've learned from the Raptors, managerially speaking?
Well, Yeah, a lot. How they handle their business and how they've established their culture. And I think the major thing is that I think everyone wants it to be immediate here, and their payoff has been now because they've been so patient with their group, and they've made major moves when they've been right, but only after going through a number of years with the core group and giving them a lot of chances to get there. And I know they've had their playoff heartbreaks against Cleveland. They never seem to be able to get through Cleveland. I know people draw the same with us. We haven't been able to get through Boston, but things change in the league and change with different teams, and I think patience and just committed to what our vision is will help us to get there.
As you go into your second year as GM, how do you gauge the level of trade chatter as opposed to last year?
It's been way different because last year I didn't really have that run up for the end of our season until to now, and so but as soon as the season ended, you start going around to every team, making your calls, seeing where they're at for the summer. And last year at this event was really the first time that I was able to that I really started to get immersed into what team summer plans are. So I feel I have a much better grasp on what the other teams are trying to accomplish this year, and have had a year of building relationships with the other managers. So much more prepared. I feel like we have far more information, and that will be a big help. So I feel much better.
Kyle, you didn't give Mike a vote of confidence immediately for obvious.
Sure.
Where does that relationship stand now, and how you guys view the game and how the teams?
Yeah,
how you want them to play?
I think at the end of every year, people will find that I think maybe I just won't answer because I always like to take the time to analyze everything, and like I said then that day, I want Channy to analyze and evaluate me, and for me to then, if I'm going to be here, then for me to evaluate everybody else. But and that's all that I'll do every season. I think I don't know what I would have said in the past, what I was previously, but even when the teams I've been with have won and been successful, you're always evaluating everybody there. I just think it's smart business. But since the end of the season, Mike and I have talked every day. We meet every day. We've communicated to each other very clearly where we feel the team needs to improve, and continue to find a common ground we want to drive towards. So it's been really, really good. I have no issues or concerns about that at all.
What's the dynamic going to be with the new coaching staff? You still have one assistant.
Sure.
I guess. And Sheldon staying on. Does that put a different kind of pressure, for lack of a better word, on Mike heading into the next season?
I think it's always good. I think having a change in that area is good. Mike's very excited about it. You could see, he's had a lot of guys that have been his assistant coaches have gone on to become head coaches, and I think he feels a duty to help develop them and help them move on. And so with Paul, he was caught up there in Florida. I think they brought in Joel Quenneville, right? So it's and so Joel wanted to bring his own people, and they had the second-rated power play last year, and we were able to bring Paul in. He's a bright young coaching prospect, and has done a very good job at the NHL level. And now we have another spot to fill, and we're real thrilled for DJ. He did a great job with us, and in every regard, and so I think the change in dynamic will only serve to help move us ahead.
The players that you brought over, Yegor and the other guys whose names I can't pronounce. What are their chances of making the Leafs in the fall?
Well, I think the one thing, and we've conveyed this to all the players, and at the end of the Marley season, is that with Hyman injured and with various constraints we're going to have, I think this is the first year that I've been here where we feel good about the team, but there's also going to be a huge opportunity for a whole litany of those players that have been with the Marlies for 2-3 years, plus Korshkov, plus Mikheyev. And then on the back end with Dermott's injury, you've got Rosen, Liljegren, Sandin, Kivi Halmi that we signed, Borgman that's there. So I think it'll be one of the more exciting training camps that we have in terms of battles for actual roster spots on the team. And that'll be great. We're going to St. John's, which we're excited about. We'll be there for quite a while. We're playing an exhibition game there. I know it's still months away, but it's exciting to think about it and be ready to roll.